Hello and welcome back to Grace.Filled. My name is Kristy and I am a wife and a mom of 5, and this is my 10th year homeschooling. I'm excited to be back with you with another homeschool video, and I'm super excited because today I am participating in a collaboration with the lovely Rooted Homeschool. Her Instagram page and her YouTube channel are simply amazing. If you have not seen her playroom tour, what are you waiting for? You're missing out. It truly is beautiful, and I love all the things that she's doing over in her homeschool and over on Instagram. In fact, it's Instagram that I think I first found out about this mega bundle on her page. When I saw the bundle, I had to grab it because it was such an amazing deal. I'm talking about almost $500 worth of printables for $25. So I grabbed it and I printed something immediately and I shared it over on Instagram and did a reel, and I just messaged her and I'm like, hey, we should do a collaboration and just talk about this, how we're going to use this, how we're going to print it, how we're going to store it, all of the things. And she was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So she is super sweet and I love having her as a friend. So I'll make sure that I leave all the links down below. So if you're interested in this bundle, you can grab it before it's too late. So I want to share with you my mega bundle review. I want to share with you how to set up hands-on activities. I want to share with you the principles that I am using this year, how to plan your own curriculum from printables, and how to store your printables. So before we begin, I just want to say I am thoroughly pleased with this. I do think it was worth the money. I absolutely recommend it. So you could either print this sheet, which lists the names of the shop, or this list, which broke it down by subject, or like me, you just print both. So this is about 80 resources from ages 3 to 13. So there was an all about me, arithmetic, autumn, back to school, book list, art, calendar, morning time, decor, early learning, games, geography, handicraft, literacy, nature study, pond resources, anatomy and life cycle, posters and 3-part cards, play, poetry, religious resources, scavenger hunt, nature walk, song, Spanish, STEM, recipes, cooking, planning, and guides. Sounds amazing to me. Okay, so if you're saying the bundle looks and sounds good, but once I get it, what do I do with it? Those are good questions, and I have answers for you. So I am going to take a few printables, set up a few open invitations, and show you how to kind of build a study or just some hands-on fun around the worksheets that I printed for my family. When I do anything like this, I use a few things, and I just want to share those with you. You don't have to have these exact things. Anything you have will work. I have these wooden letters, but let me also tell you that you can just print letters, and you can just go ahead and laminate them and cut them, and there's a perfect way of having letters. Also, if you're doing a sensory bin, any type of wooden and or transfer materials, the Dollar Tree has letters and these sensory items. Next up is you can use like a cutting board, or you can use bowls, you can use trays, you can use placemats, or you can use things like this. And believe it or not, this was a $40-50 something brand new Pamper Chef, and I got it at the Goodwill for just a couple dollars. This was from Target. I think this came from a puzzle box, but you can find these at the Goodwill sometimes, and I think this was at the Goodwill too for $1. So you don't have to spend a lot, and I don't want you to think that it's about money, but I just want to show you how by going to the Dollar Tree and just picking up a green piece, they even have the magnetic colorful numbers and letters for $1. Grab 2 packs of those, and then grab a sheet, a pillowcase, whatever you have. And we're going to take these $3 and make some amazing things. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is part of an Apple study by Let's Stay Homeschool. And it is these. And there are a few little cards. And so the children are going to match it. Does this match? And so that's simple. And that's a nice activity within itself. You have apple, have something pretty, a nice backdrop, something to contain what they're doing, working on this motor skills and things like that. But I want to show you how to take something that's simple and go ahead and expound upon it and go a little bit deeper. So I want to bring in this sheet. And so now we have find the letter A. Well, since we're talking about letter A, the children can use a magnifying glass to find letter A. They can talk about if things look different or the same using the magnifying glass. We can now circle the A. We can X the A. We can put a square on the A. And I don't have any red or green pom-poms, but we could use pom-poms for those if I had those. You could use little pieces like this if you had something like that. And I don't have any Play-Doh on hand to show you. However, from the Peaceful Press on page 54 has a Play-Doh recipe. Also have a fraction worksheet or printable, and that is using apples as well on page 134. And so that would be perfect for the older children. While we're talking about find the letter A, we could also go ahead and add in this printable here, and we could use a finger puppet. Find the letter A. Since we have the little manipulative pieces out, 6 apples on top, 4 apples on top, 8 apples on top, we can go ahead and add those using these. If you do not want to use those, you could use finger paint to be the apples. If you're fine with that, you might want to portion size that out. You could take Q-tips and also let them dip into the paint and onto these activities. Now, I love extenders, things that will help you get a better bang for your buck or last a little bit longer. So something else you could do is stick these letters on here, and these are just, you can just write on these. And now, instead of having 3 set ones, because after a while, they'll go through all those. But now, 2 apples on top. 1 apple on top. I'm just picking them as they come out the bag. 3 apples on top. Or 2 times 4 apples on top. So now you're just adding in math, and you can just see how these little pieces, these little manipulative pieces, are really amazing. There also was a cutting practice sheet, and I thought this was really nice. But you could also laminate this and, have your child trace it. That's another option. They can do zigzags with items. That works well. And the last printable that I think I printed from her shop was this green and red apple sorting type activity. And this is really cool because you're working on sorting, you're working on colors. And because this is my 10th year of homeschooling and I have my own library here, I went to my bookshelf and I was able to pull a red book, a green book. And while we're going ahead and talking about red and green, that's a perfect time to talk about color. And while we're talking about color, it's a perfect time to go ahead and talk about the leaves. So when autumn comes, we can go right into the fall. Fall comes, we can talk about the biggest apple. We can talk about autumn is for apple pie, and that's perfect because there are a few apple pie and apple crisp recipes in this bundle, as well as leaf templates and leaf cookies in this bundle. So those would be perfect for this. And when we're going back to this letter hunt, this book makes a perfect addition there. Oh, the Autumn is for apple pie book reminds me of this autumn nature poems. And guess what it says? A compliment to the Exploring Natures with Children curriculum. And guess what? I have that here. I've been using that for years. I think I have a YouTube video on that as well. But this is just a few poems. It's, by the month and 1 or 2 per month. And this is good because it's nothing overwhelming. It's not like you have to do it every single day. So it's not like another thing to do, to add to your to-do list, but it's something that's fun. And recently I was looking at a poetry book that I wanted to buy, and the book was $40. So although this is not 365 poems either, it is a few of them. And you know what? To be in this packet for $25, I think it's a really good price. And I think that you really can do some great things with this unit. Another printable that I wanted to share was this back to school dinner, and it's fun because the kids can help you pick out an appetizer, a main dish, and a dessert. And also from that same company is this back to school good thoughts jar. What you needed this activity was a mason jar, some twine, ribbon, and so basically you take your jar, and for me I decided to just take these index cards, and I am just gonna cut it into 3. I'm not worried about, the lines. I'm not worried about perfection. It's not about that. None of this is. This is all about relationship and fostering and a love of learning and just stewarding well the children and the families that you have been given. So I am just going ahead and adding these to the jar. So the idea behind that one, or this one, is that you will write down your good thoughts. So when you're having a rough day, these things will help you. And so these can be scriptures, it can be quotes, it can be things that you like. And I think that it's really cool. So I already have these pre-cut, and I'm going to give each child a certain amount, and we're all going to stick these in the jar. And when we're having a hard time, we're going to go to that jar and pull from it. Okay, there is a printable that I did not print because I did not personally need it for my homeschool, but I wanted to talk about it. It is from 100 Hours Outside, and it is a fraction printable unit that she had, and I already have what I need for a fraction, so I didn't want to just print things for this video. I wanted to use and print what I needed, but I just wanted to show you if you were to take that, you could add the living books to it, and you could have something that was really amazing. Okay, along the same line of math is something from one of my favorite printable makers, and this is Betsy over at Thistles and Biscuits. And so for those of you who are new, I just did a Woven Melodies review. That's from her, and I have a few other units from her. But this unit is about measurement, and this is included in the bundle. And the bundle has a gallon, has a quart, has a cup, and has a pint that are labeled. And then they have the exact same that's unlabeled. And so you can decide how you want to mix and match that. But I love this because this is dedicated to children that are a little bit older. So with that unit, there is a book, Millions to Measure. This book, The Math Curse, was just really fun. It would be amazing for that. And measuring. But we don't want to just do books, and hands-on is good. But what's even better is when we can take what we've learned and put it into action. So in this packet or in this bundle, there are tons of recipes as well. And this is a recipe for sweet tea. So the kids can actually go ahead and make their own tea using measurements. And here is a bread recipe. And again, using measurements, the kids can make their own bread. So now we've taken these printables, we've added some recipes, we've added some living books, and you can see how we are getting somewhere here. Next up is the fairy tea game and the tea party play pack, and these are from Kiara Garrett Creations. And you can tell I really like this because this is actually the very first thing that I printed, and I did share this over on Instagram as well. This is a solid background. Here are kind of some hand-drawn backgrounds. We have a few dolls and some wings. I do suggest you laminate most of this, if not all of this. You will be thankful in the long run. So, they have clothes and a few other things. And my daughter absolutely loves this. So there are a few little scenes and things like that that you can add, and this is just paper play, and they can just have fun, but you can see how it's really starting to become quite a nice little scene, and kids love this. They love being able to have things like this. So there's some more pieces here for that. Then there are a bunch of tea pieces here, and they are all different sizes, and there are some spoons. So that is really cool. And then there are these fairy tea recipe cards, and so you are going to go through here and just grab whatever the recipe is calling for. And they can be servers, and you know, you can say, okay, you owe me X amount of dollars, and you can give them envelopes, you can give them index cards, and let them write down actual recipes or orders, and do math that way. Okay, speaking of math, this bundle did come with something for the younger ones, and 3. And 2. So you can use the same clip, you can have multiple clips, you can have your clips to match, you can have just clotheslines. Again, the idea here is that I'm sharing tips with you that are gonna help you out, not be a burden on you financially or make you feel you have to go and buy anything spectacular. Whatever you have, and if you don't have that, use a paper clip. And if you don't have that, that's fine too, because you got a cotton ball. If you don't have a cotton ball, use a pin. You know, whatever you have that's safe, you know, that your children, you know your age group, so some children would not do well with something this size. If your child would do well, then you can go ahead and do something like this. So you have seen a lot of the printables that I love and that I printed. There were some that I just did not get a chance to print yet. I will be printing the Play-Doh recipe and all those leaf templates and leaf cookies and the apple fractions, but when I went to print at that particular moment, my printer didn't want to cooperate. So I am about to show you now how to go ahead and store it all. So in this bin right here, there is a pouch, and inside the pouch could go your paper doll set. So when your child goes and grab your notebook for today, they can open up and say, oh, what did mommy pack for me? Paper dolls. And so this is a great way that you can store things if you don't have a lot of space and if you don't want to lay out a full spread every single day. This is also a great resource and a great option if you have larger things that you want to put in here, like these. And if you're gonna put this in here, then you might as well take the envelopes, add this to the same spot. Look at that. Add this to the same spot. And you see now, when you're getting ready to pull out paper doll, you can just go right there. And they have a little tab that you can label it. So paper doll. This one is extremely beautiful, which is why I just bought it. I will say one of the things that you might encounter unless you put it in something like this is that the pieces might fall out. So this is one that I already had here on file on hand. And this is another way of doing the exact same thing you did here, except now if it falls over, you're more secure. And especially if you're doing like these tiny pieces like that, it would certainly be a pain to pick all those little ones up. All right, so what about when you don't have any big ones, you just have the small ones? Well, then this is when this come in handy. And they may not have this exact one, but they have some of these at the Dollar Tree. So you could even take just a couple dollars, maybe $2, and try your hands out with 2 of these. And so far, with getting 2 of these and just 1 piece of greenery and 2 sets of letters, you're at $5 plus your $25 bundle. So you're at $30 and you can have a whole year plus of fun. So there's that storage. Another storage solution is just using these. And I think, I don't know if you saw or not, when I did the apple pieces, it came from out of here. So you can just write apple on here and you can do it that way. Or again, like I just showed you in the other systems, you can use these this way, or again for these little pieces that are down in the bottom of there. Those would be perfect for something like this. And this was just to show a different color. And it's similar as far as you could have the bigger items in here, and then you could have the smaller items here. Now, clearly these didn't fit as well, but again, I'm just giving you examples, giving you options. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys are these containers. And you can get these from Walmart, Target, Dollar Store, all over. And these make an awesome place for you to store all of the things. So if you had multiple ones like this, you could go ahead and line them up and you could get so many in there. You really could. You can lay them down flat. You can even take these, you can store those in there. Of course, you know, you can store these in there. Whatever greenery you have, you probably could store that in there. And you could just fold up whatever sheet, pillowcase, whatever you're using underneath, possibly the tray or letters or anything like that. So I want to share with you guys the one that I have, or one of the ones that I have here. And I do share this in my, I think, favorite fives video, or maybe in my homeschool room tour. But I do share these. And I wanted to pull this out because I wanted to show you really quick that you can take these right here, whoa, and you can add a ring, and now you don't have to worry about, even if something falls, it's not going anywhere because it's secure with the ring. So this is a really amazing way to do your items once you go ahead and laminate them. Don't have the space for these, if you don't like it aesthetically, you do have some of these other choices that are more aesthetically pleasing. And if you don't have the space, the table space, to have an open invitation, again, there's a way. You can just use one of these and you can just have the surprise inside. So it's still okay. These are the storage ideas that I have. I wanted to share one more because I just thought about it. I didn't print it because my children are not that age, but you can take these from the Dollar Tree and you can just add sight words, letters, numbers, and there are tons of printables for that age range. Well, guys, I really hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that I answered some of the questions that I have been getting from you guys. If you like this video, would you do me a big favor and give me a thumbs up? And if you have any requests for any other videos, if you leave them down below, I will definitely add those to my list and see if I can jump right on them for you. So something I always say here on my channel is that you can do a lot with a little. And if all you have is $25 and some library books and a few materials and fun hands-on activities, I think especially if your children are maybe in pre-K, K, first grade, I think that you can let this be an entire curriculum. I did not print everything, but there were so many resources that were 100 pages, 200 pages. I mean, just really amazing, amazing items. And so for someone just starting out and someone on a budget, I really think this is an amazing way to go. And I don't think that you will be disappointed. So guys, thank you again for watching. And until next time, blessings.